Alright, hey guys, so a new Humble Monthly just dropped, and the new early unlocks include Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, alongside Moonlighter. In my opinion, these are some fantastic early unlocks. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice is an incredibly good game. You play as a Celtic warrior in like the Viking Age who ventures off deep into like a Viking hell to fight for the soul of her loved one. It's very visually pleasing, the combat is fantastic, the characters are amazing. Great voice acting, and overall I just think it's a super enjoyable single player experience, something you'd want to play from start to finish. Everything about it just has this very deep and like psychological feel to it that I think is just extremely amazing. So I definitely recommend playing Hellblade. And then Moonlighter is more of a roguelike action RPG. It's pretty charming. You basically go from dungeon to dungeon, fighting various creatures, going from room to room and fighting the bosses and getting loot. But what makes this game a little bit different is you take the loot back to basically your house, and then you can sell the loot to other people in the town through your shop. So you can set the prices of items you don't need, sell them to other people, and then buy other gear, craft new equipment, and so forth. So kind of a cool game there. It's a action roguelike. If you are into those style of games, you'll definitely enjoy Moonlighter. So if you're interested in playing these two games, you can subscribe to the Humble Monthly and start playing them immediately. It's $12 a month, but you actually get around 7 to 8 games in total. The rest of the games are released on the first Friday of each month. So if you subscribe today, you'll be getting the games on the first Friday next month, and you'll also receive the early unlocks early, and you can start playing those immediately. So for $12 a month, you get access to the Humble Monthly. You also get access to the Humble Trove, where you get 60 plus DRM free games that you can download and play them whenever you like. And you also get 10% off the Humble Store. So if any of you guys are subscribing for the first time, I do encourage you to use my referral link in the description below. It helps me out and it helps this channel out, so I really appreciate that. So moving on, I wanted to go through last month's monthly. There were 7 games with $139 worth of value, which is a bit on the low end in my opinion, but we did get a great AAA game, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So I'm going to go through them one at a time. Starting off, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, it started out with the Battle Edition, but they upgraded it to the Standard Edition. So you do get the full zombies experience, and from what I played of it, it's certainly recommendable to play the zombies part. The graphics are fantastic, the gameplay is super fun, the environments are extremely large for a zombies game mode, and it's definitely more fun playing co-op with friends. The online, like traditional Call of Duty multiplayer, to me was a bit lackluster. It was kind of generic. It's what you'd expect from a rehashed Call of Duty. It's fun for a short while if you're nostalgic towards the series. Otherwise, I don't know if it was too great, and if you're just looking for the multiplayer part, keep in mind it's 110 gigabytes to install the full game, so it might not even be worth your time to install. But moving forward from that, we have 911 Operator, which is a management simulator where you manage various emergencies and make important decisions. Overall, it's a pretty decent game, especially if you like simulators. And then there was Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered, which I think is a great game to have in a Humble Monthly. It's a third-person open world game with loads of destructible environments and great combat as well. I really recommend everyone try this game out if you haven't experienced a Red Faction game before. It's just really neat to see the physics and how each building can collapse, and it's just really fun overall. So I highly recommend trying out Red Faction Guerrilla. And then next we have a game called Duskers. I really didn't know too much about this game. You play as a drone operator, and you use the drones to scavenge abandoned spaceships like out in space for supplies. It has a very dark horror atmosphere to the game as well, and even though it looks very simple at first glance, it's pretty deep, and if you enjoy like atmospheric horror games, you might enjoy Dusk. Next we have a game called Paratopic, which is another sort of surreal horror game where you smuggle VHS tapes across the border. It looks more like a PS1 style game with incredibly outdated graphics, but in a sense it kind of adds to like more of the charm of older horror games with how strange and unsettling the game is. It's also only like 30 to 40 minutes long in length, so it's definitely a game you can finish in like one evening, so might be something to try out if you're into like older horror style games. And finally there's Pool Panic, which is an incredibly silly game full of all sorts of like fun mini games. You can play alone and there's over 100 crazy levels, or you can play with friends in local multiplayer. This one definitely looks fun and worth checking out, and I really think the multiplayer side of it would be very enjoyable to play with friends. If you guys don't have friends to play locally, you can download a program called Parsec and you can actually play local multiplayer games like this online. That's it for the main games in the Humble Monthly. There's also one more, the Humble Original. It's called Macdos 95. It's a puzzle game based on an imaginary operating system. Looks like there's a bunch of like little mini games thrown in here. So yeah, I don't really cover the Humble Originals too often just because I prefer to play the Steam games, but this looks fairly interesting if you're looking for something a little different to play. So yeah, that's it for last month's Humble Monthly. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. I'm kind of curious to know if you guys enjoyed it or not. I think the zombies mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was definitely worthwhile, and for $12, I think that alone basically justified the price. I also thought Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered is a really solid game that is definitely up my alley. So the rest of the games, I'm not sure if I'll play them or not. I think I might try out Pool Panic, and maybe I'll give Paratopic a try. But overall, I think it was a pretty solid Humble Monthly, even if the value was a little low. But again, I think the early unlocks of Hellblade and Moonlighter are far superior, and I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy those two games as early unlocks. And again, if you guys want to help support me in this channel, you can use my referral link before you decide to subscribe, and it'll help me out quite a bit. But beyond that, I do want to mention a couple other things on Steam. Destiny 2 was revealed to be releasing on Steam in the near future on September 17th, 2019. I heard it was going to be free to play as well, or at least the base game will be free to play, and they're releasing their new expansion Shadowkeep for $35. Destiny 2 is a pretty fun shooter. It's a first-person shooter that you can play basically co-op with up to 4 friends, and it tries to be like an MMO, but it's more of a co-op shooter in my opinion, and I thought it was really fun. The gameplay and the environments were pretty fantastic. The story is kind of lackluster, but overall that'll be cool to see in September. Also, I'm still waiting on the Halo Master Chief Collection. Halo Reach is supposed to come out sometime soon. They haven't really said when. I think it'll come out in another like month or two, but that'll be fun to see. And they also announced that Microsoft is going to be releasing like all of their exclusives onto PC in the future. So Gears of War 5, I think they're going to start with that, is going to be on PC. And they also said they're going to release like another 20 games on PC in the future. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of like excited to see if Forza will ever be on Steam as well. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Let me guys know what you think about the Humble Monthly, and have a great day.